I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, we had nobody sign up for community forum, so I won't read through that. Just a quick happy birthday to Jeff Luce, 50, welcome to the club. Don't have to worry about a receding hairline anyways, you're good there. Any conflict of interest declarations? Nope, good. Okay, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda as presented? Kara? Second?
I'll second it.
Jeff? All in favor?
Aye.
The agenda is adopted. Celebrations.
Well, about the only thing that I could get after trying to get ahold of the teachers, just wanted to make a note that the wrestlers did public state this year, so we had some place finishers. I know the Carter boys both placed. And I was trying to think who else, but as far as that, that's what I have, unless you guys have any other celebrations that you've heard of. So, it's good to see it, good showing.
Business manager.
I don't really have anything.
Okay.
Just rolling on the election, but we'll approve the election workers, so,
Okay.
and we'll approve the audit, so.
That's on
Finish
here
up
already.
with the food service review.
Yeah, 9 is the audit.
Yep, got it. Okay.
That was about it then.
Plant maintenance busing. Do you want to cover that, Mr. Rice?
Yeah, long story short, on the old gym, we've approved some flooring, we're gonna put it in ourselves. And then in, just in his report here, the electrical work's about 80% done. The plan is, hopefully before the end of the school year, we'll get that area painted up, looking good. Looking at also getting some more lumber to create some more storage on the gym. As far as that is concerned, I believe the fence is figured out now, and they've got some extra chain link to put some other things up. And then on the boilers too, when I talked to them, total replacement down the road is gonna be in excess of about 100,000, but right now they did get parts in to keep them going a little longer, so then that can help with our planning down the road. Oh, and then we had talked about other things that we had just talked about, some concrete in some other areas down the road, and then replacement of the Chevy.
Can we back up a little bit on the flooring? Just
Yes.
letting them know, we had gotten those one quotes for 27 and 32 or whatever. We went with a different material.
Yep.
They changed it and put it in ourselves, so
And
we
we're
got,
putting, so
we got
we're
the flooring for
about 12.8.
about 12,000. So we just basically went ahead with that since we were able to chop off 30 or 20 grand, and we're putting it ourselves, so.
And then the other thing that is going on up there too, but that, I'll call it the entryway that you go into the old gym. We're gonna be tearing apart bathrooms, updating them, paint, making sure the ceiling tiles are good, so when you walk in there, it's not gonna be, it's gonna be, hey, this is nice. So, we're just bringing her up to the standards that we expect to have with our physical plan.
Sometime it'd probably be good for us to just go take a peek.
Yeah, it really would. Maybe that's something we could do in April.
Okay, let's just plan a little field trip for the April one, like right before the meeting, let's just meet up there at 5:30 or 5:20,
Yeah,
and then we'll come down here to the meeting.
I'm writing it down right now.
One of the nicest things Kevin talked about is the light switches used to be
Oh,
like way in the back of the gym, so moved them up to where you enter. So now when you walk in the gym, you can turn on access to the lights. Yeah, that's no fun.
You go up the stairs and lean
Yeah,
around the
perfect.
speakers.
It just take a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll get up there, we'll check it out.
Yeah.
Circle.
Yeah. And I can't say it enough about Dave, but he has been just wonderful. Yep.
Any questions on that, guys, or anything on this report that you've seen? Okay, Principal.
All right, so we're gonna have a showcase April 18th from 5 to 8 PM on Friday. It's a Thursday. And then we don't have a teacher day the next day, so the next time we have a teacher day is the 26th, so we'll give that day off for the staff, that 4 hours, whatever. Works out because it happens to be our track meet, and a lot of people help with that, so it'll help in both ways. Sped staff completed their yearly internal final review of core. They came down on the first and did that with them, I believe. We have kindergarten roundup, March 27th. So if you know any preschoolers that aren't signed up for a preschool and they're around in town, let them know to make an appointment with Carrie. We've had some business representatives come and visit with the high school students. Ryan Stephenson came in, Jim White, Will Carr, all came in and visited with our high school students. March 19th, the South Dakota Department of School Safety will present about internet safety. It'll be for grades K through 12, so they'll cover the whole thing. It'll be in different segments, so it'll be like an hour for K2 and then an hour for, break it up because, you know, it's much more intense for the older kids than it will be for the youngers. So, Brett Garland and Angela Wallner will be here for that. We decided to put in a test that would hopefully help us see what parts of the ACT, what type of teaching we're missing with our students. So we had the freshmen and sophomores, Kathy had them take the pre-ACT assessment, and the sophomores will finish tomorrow, I believe, or one of them took it last week, one takes it tomorrow. So that'll be finished, and we'll be able to use that data to kind of collect and see, you know, how we're doing then at the final stages. NAEP testing came as the National Assessment of Educational Progress. They bring their own crew, they come in and they test one of our grades. They tested 8th graders this year, just to make sure that our students are achieving and performing over time. They're increasing. March 3rd is the end of, March 18th is the end of third quarter. March 26th, we're gonna have a National Honor Society presentation. It'll be for the middle school and high school this year. I talked to Kathy, some of the other schools around us have a middle school National Honor Society. They have all the same things, requirements they have to meet that high school does, but it lets the middle school be part of something like that too. So I thought, we just thought it'd be good to recognize some of those students who work really hard to be part of that. So that'll be something new we're starting this year. That'll be at 7 PM that March 26th. Smarter Balance testing is coming up for our students in April. It'll be grades 3 through 8 and then 11. Those are the grades that take that. And then if you turn the page, that's going to go through a little bit of data for our middle school. We went through elementary RTI title last time, or a few months ago, I guess. So this is, instead of, we take STAR, which is from Renaissance, which is down in the elementary, and this is called MAPS. It's NWEA. Basically, they test the reading, math, and language usage for the kids. We actually do it 5 through 8, but I showed you guys the RTI data with 5th grade, so I left them off this one. So if you look here, the data's a little difficult to read, so I tried to explain it. So the first one is the math, and their longitudinal scores, which means it's over 2 years. So it's last year's scores through this year's scores that we have so far, which would have been done in December. That's when those scores are. So if you look at the top one, so grade 6, where it says growth, medium, and distribution. So that's basically the growth that the kids had from the fall of 23 to the winter of 24. That's the growth they had. And the median means that's, of course, your middle number, so that's 44th. That's kind of where they stood. The achievement below there, that is where they stand overall, like their percentage, like a score, a scaled score basically. So it's compared to everybody who takes this test in the nation. So it's how they are actually achieving right now. So they have a fall one for that 2023, and then, a fall one for this year, and then a winter one that we took in December. Those are the two. So if you look at all those numbers and you go down to the bottom, it says sixth grade showed a 40% growth overall, and then 52%, they showed over a 40% growth, 52% of the kids showed over a 40% growth, which means 13 out of 25. You kind of have to look at that because we don't have very many kids. The students that were average or above, and what I counted there was the yellow, green, and the blue. Your yellow would be that it's a 40% to a 60% range there. And then the green is a little higher, and then of course 8 is quite a bit above, or that blue's quite a bit above. So average or above in sixth grade for math, 56% of our students were average or above, and then below, which is at 44%. And you can see the numbers there. So then same with the seventh grade, you can look through those. Same thing. Basically what it does is it helps us look and see, so I can click on each of these, go into each student, and then the teachers can go into each student, and we can look and see what part we're missing. Like, is it a curriculum problem, or is it a teaching problem? One year, when I was a teacher, we all got together and we looked at what we were teaching. We mapped it out, what we were teaching, and we found out that we all hated teaching one thing, and so none of us were teaching it, and that was bad. So we had to go back and make sure somebody would teach that.
Filling in gaps.
Yep. So that's what we use this data for, is filling in gaps. The next one is reading. Same thing, you can look at the scores, the numbers of students, percentage. And then the last one is your language usage. If you look at that one, we scored relatively high in language usage. So when I look at the median score distribution, so that's that little one that has like 57 or 46 or 77. You guys see those, the little circles? So when I look at them, what I first do, if I'm going to skim them, I'm going to say, do we have any of those that are in the orange? Well, we do for reading. In sixth grade growth, we have one, which means we're low there. We need to figure out what's going on, why we're not growing as fast. And then the other one is the achievement in the winter for eighth grade. So then those are, I look at the other ones too, but what I want to do is try to fix, what we try to do is fix those problems. So that's just some information for you to, do you have questions? Do I need to explain something better? And like I said, this is one test, one day.
One day.
So, you know, depending on what happened that day, or what happened, you know, did they have a bad morning? Did they come in, or are they in a fight with their best friend? Or they, you know, we just don't know. We just never know. They could take it maybe a different day. They do have a scaled score, so we know it can vary. But it really depends on the student that day they take it. But this is the way we look at that stuff for middle school.
But you are seeing growth.
Yes, we are seeing growth. And this is only halfway through. So it's not the end. We'll retest them in May, when we're about done. We won't wait too long in May, because then they're done too. So we got,
Thank you.
okay.
Mr. Rice.
Okay. Just a couple of quick things that I have already reported on a couple of these, but the track and football committee meeting will be on the 20th this month, which is a Wednesday. There's been some good information getting out there as far as what we can do and bang for the buck. We did have a person from the track resurfacing company come over and take a look as well, and so we have some possibilities moving forward that the committee will talk about. Just on general admin, just finished up civil rights data collection. It's just something that you have to do every year, and it takes a long time to do. Just so you know, when we are talking about the turnover to the new superintendent, I have been in frequent conversations with Mr. Donovan, and we've been talking about strategic plan and the need to move forward with some of those things. And I want him to also be looking at some of the things that we have looked at, what we have down on paper, and then how to move forward with that. He will be coming in April, and I'm going to take him with me to the Huron superintendent's meeting so he can meet the new supes and then also get in on the CTE collaboration grant so he can hit the ground running when he gets here. That's just to me, that's important. We're gonna make sure that he can hit the ground knowing what's going on, be good to go. I was at the Mitchell Area Superintendent's meeting last Wednesday, and the discussion focused around basically the teacher compensation. It was House Bill 1048, which turned into Senate Bill 172. Long story short, I think you need to have a math degree to figure some of the things out. But it went from teacher salary to teacher compensation. And just to give you an idea, its minimum salary needs to be at $45,000, and then whatever is given by the state needs to go to the teachers. It is going to, best way I can say is you better make sure that you're putting that towards the teachers when it comes to whatever the state's giving you, even though we have the other expenses. You know, hey, turning on the lights costs money. Things like that. A lot of small school superintendents are really wondering, and this is not a sky is falling situation, but is this another way to talk consolidation? You know, and I was sitting there going, okay, so Newell goes under, who's gonna consolidate with Newell? You know, there are just some places that just can't do it, and we've gotta find a way, you know, to make it work. So it's been an interesting process. I did give Jim a sheet on it, but it reads like Chinese. And I told Rob Monson, who is one of our lobbyists in Pierre for the schools, said you really need to get something that a fourth grader can understand. And then we'll be able to roll this out. But they do have a formula. You just have to plug your numbers into it. I do have that. I can send it to you, but it's, they supposedly are gonna have something for us, hopefully sometime this week. So, when that comes up. The second thing, I was in Sioux Falls for the teacher job fair, and there was a ton of schools there from all over the United States. So, the Los Angeles Unified School District was there, if that tells you something. And, but I did pick up roughly 15 resumes from some folks and some other interests, mainly people that are interested in a possible elementary position. I did not pick up anything for band or chorus. They have been snapped up already. But I did get a resume from a gentleman who is graduating with art and computer technology. So again, if that's something that we can't provide, maybe this is another way that the school district could look moving forward. And of course, we're still looking as far as that. And then, as always, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to give me a call.
How will that Senate bill affect our negotiations?
You know, we were one of the 37 school districts that were underneath the 45,000 threshold right now. We're at 43.3 right now, so 4%. That could put you right there, you know, roughly. If you do that, then it's 4% across the board, and it's based on your student attendance, and your student enrollment.
So it's 4%, what is in the budget?
Yeah,
That's what she's recommending.
that's what they were looking at stuff, yeah.
And the
It's-
45,000.
Yeah, but we're still hoping for more.
Yeah,
But
it hasn't passed.
well, it hasn't passed yet, but that's still where it is. But as far as the Senate bill's concerned, that passed.
But that passed, like it, you add in your benefit.
Right, that's how I read it.
Okay,
Is
so
that
there's a
not right?
salary, and then there is the average compensation. And the average compensation then, I think, gosh, what, it's around 62 something statewide, so that's the compensation. So you figured in your salary and then whatever benefits, and how that would add up to your total for compensation.
The total of 45,000 or 62?
45,000 is still a minimum base that they want to set. For salary.
Or only salary.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so like right now, if you did that, Amy, what's a full single right now roughly?
$801.
Is it 801? Okay,
If they
so,
do family.
Okay.
That's the.
No,
We pay.
665 if they don't do family. For health insurance?
yeah, I'm just saying, what are we paying monthly for that is what I was getting at.
So I think it was 665, I think it's single unless they do family.
Okay, so,
600,
okay.
I think,
Yeah.
per month, yeah.
So, so if you took 650, whatever that number is, you take that times it by 12. Okay, you're at about 7,200 plus that, if it's 45, then you're at about 52,000.
So the way the other formula was to not get docked was you had to do the whole compensation package, so I'm sure that's why that's still in that number.
Yeah.
We just had to make sure that that was still above, like 5 years ago.
Mhm. Yeah, from 2017.
But then, yeah, and then they have that salary part now.
Yeah, it's, I mean,
The end of this month, I forget the exact date, is when I will find out what health insurance has.
so I know that last year, I believe, you offered contracts pending, whatever the state was going to give us. I think it was something along that line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we should do.
Yeah, offer contracts and then pending whatever is going to be there.
The final budget last year was actually 1% higher than what the governor had recommended.
Right. Yeah, we got 7.
Yeah.
So 21st.
She had recommended 6.
6, we got 7.
We got 7.
Yeah, which
So
was
after the
wonderful.
21st, we should be able to
Hopefully
start
we'll get more.
negotiations. So if I plan to try to set up something for the first week of April. Okay.
So we're thinking for,
Can I add one thing about the track? So I met with the guy,
Yeah.
Dave and I and Jason Bishop were out there.
Okay.
So this guy said it would be, what they do is, they cut the corners a little bit, they make those corners wider to put that into meters instead of yards. And then when they grind it, they'll take, whatever, so like, they would want a new layer of asphalt to come in and put the new layer of asphalt. So whatever depth that they think that they need the asphalt to come in at, to put a nice layer on there. So it sounded to me like you could have just like anybody come in and do the asphalt.
that's
company
what I was
come in and do
wondering.
that.
Yeah.
I know we have a company, not too far from Wilson, that does that.
What?
Were you gonna mill?
Yeah, they were gonna mill it and then, but then remove some of it, because there has to be, there has to be so much space for the new asphalt. And I don't know if there's, I don't know, Jeff probably knows, I don't know if there's gonna be gravel or something underneath that, but he said pack something down and then put that asphalt on top of it. And then they would just come in and do the top layer, so.
But we could have a firm set the asphalt.
Yeah,
And
he,
they-
yes, he said everything could be done like by a asphalt paving company or whatever like that.
Do we know anybody?
Well, Mr. Mayor, didn't you say that the state sometimes has?
Yeah,
stuff like that?
the state, I know that, I'm trying to think what county it was, it might have been Clay County or whatever, but there was a school district, they were able to get, I don't know what it was at the end of whatever season it was, but they were able to get things for cost from the county. I don't quite know, but I know the Centerville School District did that when they did their parking lot, and it was asphalt. And so I don't know if that's something that we would be able to jump on with Beetle County or not, I don't know.
I would assume that firm has asphalt specs that need to be followed. That if-
Well, he's supposed to send us information before the meeting.
Okay,
So then
perfect.
I just wanted you guys to know that when we met with him, he seemed like he was very, very positive and it wasn't going to be, because when I think about it, and I think you gotta tear up the whole, it seems like a lot. But he was very nonchalant about it. He said it's not that big of a deal to make it into the meter track. We've done lots of them that way. It's,
Don't
we have to widen it
6
because,
feet wider on each side.
Well,
One side.
Just one second.
so.
I thought it was 12 feet overall.
Well, we have 6 lanes and we have to go to 8.
Yeah, so, now I see what you're,
Yeah,
yes.
it was 8 lanes over.
No, there's only 6 we measured. It's really only supposed to be a 6-lane track out there.
They're really narrow.
But it's just narrow lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that wouldn't work for the specs. We have to add, and so that's why the light poles would have, because they go both ways. And so the light poles would have to be removed. Anyway, it was sounded way better than I thought it was gonna be. So,
I guess it'd be good if we got them specs and then we could talk to the
Yeah.
local contractor. They can give us an idea of cost.
yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Anything else, Tom?
I'm great, sir.
Mid-Central report, anything, Kara? How about Core?
They did hire, so about the letters. They did, well, yeah, I was gonna say, the letters.
So the SLPA,
Yes, and she's going to school for the,
she's going for the regular SLP, but I think she's an assistant right now.
yeah, so she got accepted to the college, but yeah, so they have somebody.
Okay. Committee reports, we have policy, some things, correct?
Yeah, we just went over a couple policies. This is the first reading.
So I have a first reading on discipline on 9/10.
Is this this one?
Yeah, there were 3 of them. 2 of them.
Student discipline and restraint discipline.
Okay.
Yep.
Very straight one, we didn't change anything, I just wanted to make sure that we just put the date so that we
Okay.
don't look at it again for.
So what do I need to, what
The
changes?
only, there was hardly any changes,
No.
there's only a little change where we put in, threat to the school day, is that what it was?
Yeah.
I got
Significant threat, disruption of school, that's the only thing we added.
next month we'll have to.
Ooh,
that part's
yeah,
all-
it did.
Oh.
So you'll just have to make sure next month it's on there for the second reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just
Kind of-
really, at the bottom here,
Okay,
we added a threat, this significant threat this time.
the significant threat disruption of school?
And then we, and then on the back, we added a definition to it.
Oh, all right. So I just need to read the significant threat. Okay. First reading of the addition to the student discipline under the policies and regulations. This will be student threat, disruption of school, parent conference, followed by long-term suspension pending expulsion, followed by notification of law enforcement. Definition for definition for the significant threat disruption to the school day is as follows. A suggestion that something unpleasant or violent will happen, especially if a particular action or order in not is,
Is, that should be is,
okay,
sent it out. Yeah.
is not followed. And no changes to the restraint.
No, it just,
Okay, just updating, we updated the date on the restraint and seclusion policy. Okay, I can handle that. I was thinking I was gonna have to read that whole thing. No, perfect.
So I marked off 9/10 since we.
Okay, okay. The consent agenda, we have, there are no changes to the minutes, correct? Bills, and we do have a approved transfer of $10,000 from general fund to the preschool fund. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as written?
motion.
Is that Ashley?
Yeah.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Brooke, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, agenda, consent agenda pass. Nothing was pulled. So, new and unfinished business, 9.1, administration contracts and negotiations. I guess we are talking about what, when are we talking? When did you say? April?
Like the first week of April.
First-
She'll know on the 21st of March,
Okay.
which is usually Wednesday.
Thursday.
Thursday.
I think.
So,
Do you
Ash-
know- sorry, go ahead.
Ashley, Tara, and I are on that, so,
Do you know
year?
Mr. Utek for sure.
And
Probably was confusing someone.
it was, yeah. I think they were looking for a third one.
Mr. Bishop, not this
He
year.
must be getting off.
I don't know if he's.
Chris,
Tammy was supposed to be on there, but she won't be there.
It might be. Don't quote me, but I think it might be a
Chris
Chris.
Kuzma.
So if we reach out
She
to
was on
Mr.
the list.
Yushek, he should be able to tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll think, because the next board meeting will be April 8th, so if we thought sometime that first week in April, we should be able to.
If everybody's done.
Yep, okay, I'll get a hold of Russ and see what will work for them. And we'll have a better idea on the budget at that point too, because that'll come through, so, okay.
Now, but
All right, first week of April, I will let Ashley and Tara know after I talk with Russ. Staffing for 2024, 2025. Should we
I
move
think
that to
yeah, that
executive
needs to be
session?
executive
All right.
session.
Can I ask a question before you do that? It's not on here, and I kind of thought it would be the esports program. Are we voting for that tonight? I don't know when the best time to bring that up is, but.
Yeah, we'll have to add it in April because I didn't get it on the agenda. I apologize.
Oh, no problem.
Uh,
I will say to that though, Santel offered a grant for $3,000.
Oh.
So they would.
So that covers a lot of the.
That would cover all of our costs, plus
Yeah.
part of the GM costs as well, if we were to hire a GM.
The pilot program this year has gone really well. So South Dakota High School Activity Association is talking about sanctioning it next year.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're having their state tournament in like 2 weeks in Brookings.
Yep. Okay, we'll put it on there, but I
I
think
got it.
everybody liked it the last time. Sorry about that.
No problem, no problem. I mentioned it, and I must have forgotten to.
Thanks for bringing it up. Now, there has been some changes, or did it pass, or is it a law for the enhanced
Yeah,
concealed
the
carry?
concealed carry permit, that has passed now. So one of the big things that, we would not have to go through all the Sentinel training, but one of the big questions is gonna be, how does that affect our insurance?
Well, didn't it say we still have to go through the training?
Well,
I don't have to do the full.
It's not as much training.
they don't have to, but I have a feeling insurance is gonna want the school board to establish a policy that's either in line with what they're looking at. So,
Yeah.
we may wanna set up an appointment with,
Like an insurance review on what we
yeah,
need to do.
like an insurance review and go, cause I'm sure they deal with somebody else on it.
Yeah.
But, and then I would like to see another school board's policy on it too, that, cause if this is new.
Yeah,
I would
it's,
say there's gonna be a lot of unanswered questions.
So I took some to our committee meeting policy, so I took 2 of them from 2 different schools. And they were both exactly the same. I think we could probably use that one. The board signs off, like every single board member signs off. And then the person has to fill everything out to do it. I think we could, probably what people are gonna do is just change that a little bit to make sure it goes with the new law. That's
Gotcha.
what I'm thinking, but we have one that we just didn't look at it because the enhancement thing came out and we didn't know exactly how that was gonna affect anybody.
The people I've talked with in the district are for it, as long as we have a policy set for it that, protects everybody. But they definitely see the merits of it, as long as we have a responsible person in charge of it, so I guess it'd be nice to keep poking away at it. maybe for
we gotta
next
look
year.
at it, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
well, let's keep that, let's add that for next month too.
Okay. Concealed carry.
Because that has to pass anyway, that bill. Okay, the track and football meeting is scheduled for March 20th. And where's that at?
Right here.
Okay. We have a school lunch assistant contract that, and remind me of the name?
Mary.
Mary Black. And she has experience. It's Kiowa's mom. correct?
Yep. So previous, she's been a bar restaurant manager, I believe it was Cavor.
Yep.
Yep.
And she's been doing subbing here for the last month,
Probably about that.
so.
Hasn't missed a day.
Given her experience, we talked about a rate of $18 an hour.
Who will she report to?
She can't report to Kayla, because that's in our policy. So she would have to report, I would assume she would report to your superintendent.
Yep.
So, can I get a motion to approve Mary Plath for the assistant cook at a rate of $18 an hour? Tara, can I get a second?
A second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Gym flooring update, I guess we talked a little
Yep,
bit
we got
about that.
that. Yep.
And once again, when we saw the cost that we were able to get it for 15, 20,000 less than what they reported, we just kind of went, let's do it, and it'll be good. Any questions on that? School calendar. Excuse me. How many snow days are built into next year's school calendar?
6,
There's 6, and this year there were 4.
yes.
How are we sitting for hours?
If you look there, it tells you the bottom of that sheet, I believe. Mine does.
Oh, yep, there it is.
What are the requirements?
Requirements.
960 for the high school.
Elementary is 8, something like that.
Yeah. They're both sitting roughly a full week or 40 hours
And,
over the minimum.
gotcha.
Elementary is what did you say?
I feel like it's 856, but I'll look at it. 'cause I don't wanna
It's
type
in the
it.
800s, yeah.
And high school was
960.
960. And that's with school starting on the
21st.
21st. And ending on the 20th.
875, sorry. I think I said 8. Close.
Okay, yeah, so they're 50 hours over.
875. High school's 960.
Is this the same that you had sent us, stuff
Yes.
based on it?
The only thing I added was graduation.
So how do you figure your hours? And I'm gonna apologize because I left my sheet at home, but when I added all the days and hours, I didn't get, it gave us enough, but it was like barely.
So,
what would have I done wrong?
so you have to do all the teacher-student contact time. And then you have to take out recess and lunch and passing time, and depending on which side you're on.
Yep.
And then we're gonna have 2 parent-teacher conferences next year, so you can count those.
Okay.
And then, what else was?
So how many hours do we go in a day?
So,
I have to look.
Okay. High school, middle school go 407 minutes a day.
Did you do that? So I first do the math usually, and then the teachers do the math, and then Amy does the math.
Elementary does 375 minutes a day.
So usually we have, many people doing the math to make sure
that with this calendar compared to the calendar that we used this year?
So this year, we only had 4 days built in,
Okay.
so obviously we have a few more hours than those
Okay.
had before. And one of the difference between our school and other schools sometimes is that we start at 8:10 and we go a long day. That's the important school.
Okay.
How many days is this? Contact days. Without counting. Oh, have you counted?
Yeah.
I don't wanna count the
I
rest
have
of
way
the
too
one.
many things.
Sorry.
144, 149.
149.
It's not on this one, she did her math, she's been doing that.
With 16 and a half teacher days, because Fridays only count as half. So the teacher contract time would be 165 and a half days.
So if we had 6 snow days, they only truly have like 4 hours extra.
It would have, yep, that would be the bare minimum, but, and that's what I told them this year. Well, I didn't tell them that, but they put the snow days in because this year we added them because we were getting so we're out of days. So we would have to make those up. I also printed out for them in 2020, so there's a deal at the state level that has instructional minutes of public schools. And so if you go in there, I printed out 2022 and 2023 for the teachers, and I highlighted all the 4-day school weeks, because that's what we're comparable to, and just show them some of our differences. Some of them get more hours than us, and some of them get less. It just depends, I suppose, if they have, some of them put in Fridays off and on, some of them don't do any extra days ever. I think it just depends on the school district.
So the three of you are confident that we're meeting our requirements
Absolutely.
as written in this contract. Questions, guys? Good? Well, can I get a motion to approve next year's calendar as provided?
So moved.
Jeff? Second?
Second.
Ashley? All in favor? Opposed? School calendar 2024-25 has been approved.
Would you have graduation?
I know on this, I didn't look at it last time. So I didn't-
Oh, you didn't print the new one?
Oh, I didn't have it.
Yeah, I sent it to you, didn't I?
Probably be the 17th.
I can tell you what, yeah, it's the 17th.
Okay.
I put it on this. Maybe I forgot to send maybe the new one, I don't know. Didn't I send you one?
You sent me this one.
Perfect.
Audit.
The audit, how did that go?
Good, I did not print it for you guys because I emailed it to you since it's some
Mhm.
meetings. I do have a couple, copies that they sent me, if anybody wants those. Has some further reading material. Of course, there is a couple things, but you get that all the, we get that every year, just because we're a small school and we don't have enough division to do the segregation of duties like. Otherwise, everything.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the audit as provided by Amy?
I make a motion.
Brooke? Get a second.
Second.
Jamie, or Mason?
Jamie.
Jamie. All in favor?
I think, because it's not necessarily mine, it was something else.
Okay.
Opposed? All right, audit has been approved. Approve the election workers, and you had a list.
I did. So it is, Cheryl Van Asprin, Donna Runge, Virginia Nagelhout, Marilyn Mosier, Marilyn Snitzer, and Gillette Health. So I got 2 new ones. I talked to Beetle County to see what they pay, because I kind of just based off theirs, and they're paying $200 for the day, and then $50 for the election school, which I will perform Monday, the day before the election, and go through it all. They attend that. So that is what I'm recommending.
Okay. In line with what we've done in the past, I take it. Okay.
Before it was like so much an hour, but this basically is.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the listed election workers at the rate set by you? Jamie and Tara, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The election workers have been approved. Policy, I guess we went through that. Snow days, what, we're out.
We're out.
We're out. Do we have some Fridays set up?
We do have Fridays.
We
Just in case.
Last month, we said.
Yeah, last month.
Right,
we said
okay.
that.
And
So
they were
March
they were-
2nd, we're already by that one.
You talked to them and they were fine with what?
Those are their days.
Okay, okay. Well, I
We have
guess,
some all winter May.
okay,
Nobody wants to do that.
fingers crossed. Yep, that's done. Well, hey, we zipped through that pretty good. I guess we are going to, can I get a motion to go into executive session? Ashley and Tara. Favor? Opposed? Thank you, everybody.
Oh, where is the snake?
It's gone.
It's gone.
Why?
It did?
No, it
We had a little mishap with the snake.
Again?